Good morning. Don't hit end stream, hit live chat. I think we're going to need to do repair work. Yep. Yeah, that's completely clouded over. Yeah. You can just see it right there. It's all clouded over. It's just not clear. And even when we put something behind it, it's even worse. So all that has to come out. The unfortunate thing is part of the reason why I clouded over is because I dropped in that ceiling piece. That means I've got to remove the TVs. Fine. And hopefully I can work around. It's going to be a fucking bear. Oh, well, is what it is. Let's get to it. Repair time. One TV out. That one doesn't want to move. Doesn't move. How do I know? Doesn't move. Two TVs out. Hey, Joe. Good morning. How are you? This is going to be some level of fun. Nothing else. I can just get rid of that tape. Hey, Richie. What's going on, brother? All right. Let's see how this is going to work. Nope. That's something harder. I'm okay. Motherboard is cooked. I tried everything. Oh, yeah. Dude. Got an interesting little story that happened to me, Joe. First of all, do you have a backup motherboard? And even if you did, do all the parts that you need or that you have, are they going to be able to fit on that new motherboard? That's the tricky part. Oh, this one has DDR4 RAM and I've got DDR5. Oh, this is an AMD processor of this vintage, and this is an Intel processor of that vintage. Sorry, guys. Allergies are still kicking my ass. Replace PSU, replace cables and CMOS battery. Nothing, yeah. Nothing much. Just working on... Sorry, first of all, good evening, Edwin. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. I'm just working on some graphics for myself and going to clean out my closet today. Well, my side. How many other sides are there to that closet? Hey, Tom, good morning. I found a new motherboard on Facebook for $160. Oof. What's the, Joe, what's the processor? Can you tell me? And if it's an Intel or an AMD, let me know. Again, I'm sure you've got some familiarity. I'm just kind of curious now. I'm playing the same game. I'll tell you a little story in just a second. For $160, which could be pretty cheap. You can use DDR5 on DDR4 as long as the slots fit. You can DDR5 RAM is backward compatible. I did not know that. Is this the first time that's ever happened, Tom? Sunday cleanup and cooking for dinner. Oh, sorry, Saturday cleanup. Jesus, don't give away a day. Tom, until me and my parents share a huge walk-in closet. Oh, that's kind of cool. You guys have a huge walk-in closet, man. I wish I had one of those. I got a little. I can walk into it, but that's all I can do. Then I have to walk back out if I want to do anything. Let's see. Intel. Yeah. Yeah. And then you have to know the, what do they call it? Which chipset, which processor it is because of the number of pins on it. Anyway, it all sucks. It's a fucking game. It's a fun one, and I understand the reason why they do it. Every generation of something new, things change and improve, but still. So I had an interesting situation. For the longest time, I'm like, why is my server? It's got a gigabit NIC. The connection to the internet or the network is a gigabit. I went into BIOS, made sure it's set to gigabit, not 10/100. All I could download was 10 megabits. What the fuck? And of course, I kept on going there. I'm thinking I'll replace the motherboard. I'll get all that stuff. And then I started reworking my rack, and I noticed that I disconnected the wire that's run to the wall back to the switch. And it's looking a little wonky on the connector. And at one point, I actually popped it in. There was the network switch didn't even light up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? The entire connector slid off. Re-terminated it, popped it back in, gigabit speed. I spent I'm not kidding you, fucking months trying to figure out what's going on with the processor, and it wasn't the processor. It wasn't the computer itself. It was one shitty connection which I made. Anyway, it's been fixed, and that's good. All right, my friends, real quickly back to some fun stuff. I am removing the windshield because I'll show you because it's smashed up now, but we're going to redo this. In fact, if this thing stays integral, I'm going to just take this and just lay out another one of these things. But this thing here, completely clouded over. Now, there's obviously been some marks on here now because you can actually see. There we go. I almost had it to focus. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You can see there's a lot of clouding on it. And it's unacceptable. So here's what it is. I'm going to do some cleanup around this area, get rid of all the original glue. And then we're going to carve out another one. However, before we do that, let's see if Tom's still here. My father is a hoarder. I told him when we moved, get rid of his shit. But he gives me the excuse of sentimental value where he just being a dick. Yeah. There's somebody's like, get rid of your shit is another person's sentimental value, and it does suck. Tom, I'm going to show you something. Something that you will understand because you mentioned it here, and you and I both watched the same video. Do you remember somebody using this stuff recently to make a canopy or clear glass? Try something. I don't think it's going to work. Not in the application that I'm going to try to do. You know, make it a canopy. I don't think it's possible because I need to double side it because I don't want the ins on the example. Okay, so Plasmo did a video recently where he showed ways of making a canopy, and one of the or clear glass, and on wings where they have a recessed light in the wing, and then there's a piece of glass over it, rounded right on the front edge. The plastic that's usually included is so thick, it's way out of scale. So he just took a piece of tape, packing tape, clear packing tape, wrapped it around, cut it, and it looked fucking mint. I don't think this application is going to work. I don't think. But I figured I've got the time. I'm already going to have to replace this thing. It's going to suck ass no matter what. Let's take another 10 minutes and see what happens. Good morning, Tony. How are you? So the only issue with it is finding a clear area, and I see one. And you can already see there's hairs on the side of this thing. So I got to see if I can do this in a way because I'm also going to fold over the plastic, the clear. It's also not uniform on places. It sticks to, yeah. Oh, I know. This is why this to me is an experiment. Let's see how it works. I don't think it's going to. In fact, I think even if it does work in time, packing tape glue dries and then it just becomes nothing. And then things just fall apart. So it could be that it would work. And if I rely on the glue on the tape, it will likely over time come off anyway and fall inside and look like ass. Just overslept a bit. Tony, you're here at a relatively reasonable time. Brother. Yeah, that tape is shitty. Oh, it's shitty. So you'd have to do two things. The first is I'm going to fold it in. I've got to cut an area out, secure it. But I'm going to see if it works. First things first. I'm going to fold it and see if I can maintain clarity even with, like, there has to be no bubble. There's already a bubble right there. There has to be a section of this thing that is completely clear. The benefit of doing this versus using styrene is that you've got a little malleability. That's the only reason. To use thermoplastic, make a mold of them, and use the possibly. The thing with making a mold is it'd have to be a two-sided mold, Tom. Be right back. Sounds good, Joe. It would have to be a two-sided thing. Actually, the clear plastic has worked. The issue is it's on two separate occasions when CA got near it, it blew it up. I'm not sure if this CA that I'm using right now is like an extremely hot CA. I've never heard that before. I don't know much about the composition of CAs, if one's different from another. I'm sure there are differences, but could one be so much more aggressive than another? But the glue itself, as soon as it touched that plastic, it blew it up. Just cracked it. There's just cracked. And then, of course, I started applying. This is an old bottle, but this is future, basically. I started applying this clear on it, and the first pass looked good, but after a while, it just started to cloud up. .ca will, yeah. The issue, again, Tom, I agree with you. If I had the ability to mold on both sides, because you're going to have to make a mold, not just a one-sided mold, but a two-sided mold. And at that point, I'm getting into vacuum forming or something similar to that. Hey, Charles, good morning. And that's not going to happen. I'm not going to make a mold, a two-sided mold. One-sided mold, yes, because I'm going to be making a one-sided thermoplastic mold and probably fill it with either epoxy or clear or something like that. Okay, let's get this piece. And again, this is purely, and this is a journey. No, because you can laterally put the tape on the back of the canopy. And the resin on top of it. Could possibly do that in a thermoplastic, but then But keeping in mind, both sides have to be so pristine. I'm not sure that that would work either, even if I use tape as the back side. Because any aberration in the whatever your molding material is going to create inconsistency. The benefit of plastic sheet is it's completely uniform. And only the roses on top of the front. UV light and done. Peel the tape, and you have a canopy that is clear. And a thermoplastic two-sided is easy also to do. It's not easy. Not when you're trying to create two separate. I think it's actually much more complex because at that point I'm creating basically a curved sheet, which is fine. Again, guys, just so you know, I'm not discounting the thought. I'm beating up the idea to see, is it a viable one? It's very clear and just need to polish. Yeah, but once this thing is glued in, yeah. See, again, Tom, keep coming up with the ideas, the suggestions, okay? If we take a look at that, let's see if I can get it in there real close. Notice that there's a pretty significant lip there. The plastic is probably over 1 millimeter thick. So to kind of go in there and then polish it afterward is going to be very difficult to do. Want to make the frame for the tape to be, and glue the plastic. That's a possibility. I mean, I thought about actually creating frames. Don't get me wrong. There are going to be places where UV resin will be used on this model. One, because I want to try it. Let's get some glasses on here. I'm going to go with the 6.0s. So make sure I'm getting all the stuff off of here, including the little hairs. Wow. I can see raised areas where the CA dried around it. Oh, it's going to make for a really fucking tight fit, that's for sure. You polish beforehand, mold it. But if I think to the point that was used, I could tape on this side. I don't think it's going to be possible because I've got this bump up here. You could create a tape here, run your inside, and then let it dry. Let me think about it. I'm not seeing it being possible given the shape of the opening. As you used to make lenses and stuff all the time. It would lay into it. It levels itself, and once cures it, it's perfect. Yeah, question though. But Tony, let me just ask you this: when you do like lenses, right? So if you put a drop down, you got a perfectly flat surface. Let's say you put it on a piece of glass. You got a perfectly round surface. Even if you got like a little mold to hold it in place, right? But you got a perfectly round surface, flat surface. But what if you need both surfaces to be parallel? And that's what I'm trying to do here. You're going to have one parallel surface, two parallel surfaces. Just getting some hairs that got in there. Hell, if we really want to go the right way, or maybe not the right way, but if we really want to consider it, actually, let's get rid of that tape. That tape isn't going to work. The more I look at that, it's just not going to happen. I conform to the tape on the bottom, so you'd want the tape to be tight. Yeah. Yeah, the issue is I can't really get that to do that because notice, for example, Tony, right here, notice this bump up here, that whereas the rest of the surface, I could probably put a piece of tape over. Let's see if I get in here. Put a piece of tape over the top of the surface here. Sorry, it's not focusing. When I get to this section here, it's not on the same plane, so it would not be able to be tight to the interior of the canopy. Use the mold putty to make a reverse mold of the frame and make that out of UV resin. Again, I think I see what you guys are saying. It would just require a lot more work on the inside. Remember, this isn't like I call it almost like a gravity mold, like if you're making dots or something like that, or you're putting something like if you're putting something down with resin, you're using gravity to kind of hold it, at least to create one flat surface. But if you're trying to create something that isn't flat on one side, and it doesn't matter what happens on the other side, like for example, like if you're trying to create lenses, you're just making little, almost like rivets, like clear rivets. You got little dots, you hit them with UV. I get that. But when you're trying to do something that is literally going to try to have that kind of a shaping parallel on both sides, I just don't see it happening. It cracked it. The same thing that happened over here, Tony. Let's see if you guys can see this. Again, it's really odd. You can almost see it. See that right in here? See that kind of like almost crinkly shape right there? That's all because it cracked because of the CA. When I used a thin cement instead, it actually contoured it fine. I then went in to hit it with a little bit of CA to kind of fill in a little gap, cracked it. So in the canopy, the same thing. When I went into glue, I'll answer questions, guys. And again, please understand, everything you guys are suggesting makes a lot of sense. I just don't think this is the application where two things. One, I don't think it's the right application. Or two, I'm not sure I have the ability to do it, given I don't have the ability to mold on both sides. The right way to do it would be to 3D print it. But I'm also trying to be analog here. So where I glued in this piece here, Tony, the lens itself, I'm sorry, the literally the ceiling with the light, the CA ran so quickly. CA is, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting, excuse me. CA is very much like oil, not water. It runs like a mother. Why don't you make battle damage glass if you can fix it back? Yeah, unfortunately, I'm trying to have, this is not going to be pristine. It's actually rescuing something. So I don't see it having battle damage. This is a rescue vehicle more than a combat vehicle. Should make it bigger and we may to cut and sand. Yeah, and that's what I don't want to do. I'm trying to limit this. Clear plastic works. It's just that when clear plastic, it's how do you secure it? And then that's the struggle that I've had, and making sure that CA doesn't touch it. Don't have to worry about it. The rescue GOG, exactly. Remember, this is going to be like a Coast Guard vessel. That's the look I'm going for. I see what you're saying, and it's not flat on the back, so the resin won't work. Yeah, if it were literally one level, and then I don't care about the other side, it'd be one thing, but I need them to be parallel, and it's curved parallel. That's why, and maybe the easiest way to do this is like that's a flat sheet, but it's when it goes in, it's curved. And I'd have to make a mold on both sides perfectly even all the way around. Or to somebody's point, you could polish it. I'm not looking to polish it afterward. It is on all messages. You don't have to worry about dust or things breaking because your clear resin you can use in many layers without anyone knowing it's in layers. Unless you get bubbles in between. Microscale makes a window glue. They do. There's I'm actually I almost picked that up. There's a couple of companies that do, Joe. Where the fuck did I put mine? Oh yeah, I put it up here, I think. But I'm actually using something called Canopy Glue, which is good. This is, just so you guys know, all this really is. It's like a super heavy duty Elmer's glue, wood glue. I will use that as well. In fact, that's what this thing was originally secured in with. I'm going to do the same thing again. The one benefit of this, I'm actually going to make 4 of these now. One of the mistakes I've made is I've now, this is the 3rd one that's failed. I'm now going to make the 4th. And every time it fails, I have to remake this thing, and it's from scratch. I'm going to cut 3 pieces and have them ready to go, just in case it fails again. The other thing I'm going to try to do, and it is possible, you could also potentially use this as a glue. I mean, there's a tackiness to it. With UV resin at the scale, all the scale bubbles are not a big issue. Okay. Cut 8 just in case. Exactly, Richie. And this is, and usually I do that, but I mean, after 3 times, you think I would have learned my lesson on this one, but I was stupid. Right, get rid of the stuff on here. So you could use the plastic from a cup for that bottle. Could, but clear plastic is fine. Clear styrene is fine. Like this vinyl, it would be the same thing. Ultimately, I don't think there's a difference in the material, Joe. This bottle is probably thicker than the clear styrene that I'm using. All right, got that done. Let's just set that right there. All right, and because if you guys see, that is a really thin sheet of clear. Sit there for a second. I'm going to do some cleaning on this thing. Like, these are the original Hinomaru circles. Some of the extras that I made. That's what I do. Yeah. Yeah. At some point you have to, it's only wise to make multiples of something just in case. Just getting rid of all the old tape that's on here. There we go. Gonna get a little glass cleaner. Be right back. Glass cleaner, paper towel. Oh, let's go to town. I think a McDonald's cup is. Just don't. I think they cheap out. Right. Go. The tools away. Put those paints away too. I will be starting to do some of that. Make sure I can put some of this shit away. Put the oil brusher away. I'll leave these paints over here for the moment. Let's get the oil brusher away. VMS goes away. All right, we are almost there. Anyway, hey guys, by the way, thank you for the suggestions. It's not that I'm not looking to discount them, but just so you guys do know, I do want to counter. I want to look for every potential fault in something to see if it's viable or not. It's kind of the way I roll sometimes too. It's you look at a situation and a solution and just say, is this the best solution? And you try to pop holes in it. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna literally just put this glass down, clear. We're gonna put this messed up piece, get all the stuff off it. In fact, what's interesting is you can actually see the full outline of the opening. Time check. Time. Plenty of time. One thing I am going to probably end up needing soon. Probably going to end up needing some more of these pens. I don't use these things nearly as much, so they tend to dry out quite a bit. In fact, you know what we're going to do first? Before we start drawing on here, let's actually shape this thing a little bit better. Now that I have the full outline here, I can shape this. As long as this thing doesn't crack, which is possible. In fact, what's interesting is I'm going to experiment today. All right, let's see what we got. I'm almost done with 80% of the MG new. Nice. Hands and head left. Next is the back pat. Last is the shield and funnels. More like 70% now that I think about it more. So, Tom, are you going to... we're going to try one other thing, guys. Now that I'm looking at this, now that I actually have, you can almost see it. Let's see if you guys can see it. You can see the outline of the opening versus the part that wasn't there. I'm going to make an extra one of these, and I'm going to see if I can shape around it and see if maybe instead of securing it on the back, I don't think it's going to work, but seeing if I can secure it inside the opening itself. The only issue with that is I don't think I'm going to have enough meat to kind of like, there won't be enough stuff to glue it. I could then move it further into the surface. I'm ideating here. If I do that, it would fit nicer. It could fit nicer, but I don't think it would have stability to be secured enough. Yeah. I need non-failure. So, Tom, is this, I'm assuming you're saying when you're 70% done, you mean construction or do you mean painting? Forgot to do one thing here. So 70% including painting? There we go. Get some more of that canopy glue off. Including painting, 70% including painting. Nice. Well, that must be exciting. That is CA. I think I've now gotten. So for this, is this CA or is this canopy glue? I think it's CA. Sorry, guys. I'm actually just trying to get any of this stuff that's remaining off. I know this isn't fun watching somebody kind of like do this kind of cleanup. Anyway. Hey, Nick, good morning. It's already constructed. I had to tear it down, replace the frame with a metal one. Nice. Morning. Use UV clear resin to glue the canopy. That's a possibility. Never thought about using clear resin. How does it flow? Corners. It flows like thin CA. Okay. That's something I want to avoid. In fact, my hope is that this round with the canopy glue will be a little bit better. And now that I'm not going to be touching this thing with CA, that'll be better still. That's the hope, my friends. That's the hope. Nick, what's going on, brother? There we go. Mercy. Okay. Making coffee. Nice. Nick, the canopy, just so you're familiar with this, the canopy fogged significantly. So I removed it, and this is the original. Thankfully, it stayed intact, and I'm going to use it now to make 3 more. Not 1, not 2, but 3, just in case. I'm going to draw it out and cut it out. In fact, let's do this. It fogged. Yeah. It looked like ass dump. It was like, yeah, I was like, well, just throw some more future on it, polish. It's like it's too fucked. The CA broke it, and then just trying to fix it afterward. There was also, and I'm gonna make sure next time I pop it in, clean my fingers first. But it also there was an impression, and that could have been microfracturing on the inside. I can't tell. this. And I'll trim that photo back. Cut that photo. Okay. So we're going to draw out a few of these. The first thing I want to do, let's get this secured on there. Anyway, guys, hope you guys had a good work week ending. Hopefully, it all ended well for you. You may recall, as I told you guys, I had the day off yesterday. Had a doctor's appointment I had to go to. There should be. And then after that, was basically spent the day getting the network head end AV Central out of a rack and just mounted to a wall, and gave me a lot of space over there. All right. So now, start getting kits for the time being. I should finish a few more kits than normal. Yep. Anybody want to take bets as to how long that's going to last? How's the weekend been so far? So far, it's been pretty good, Edwin. Yesterday, I've been burning the candle on both ends. Unfortunately, been up late working on getting that area cleaned up. Did one late night doing this. And unfortunately, it just means my sleeping has just been like atrocious. But last night I crashed out early. Get these glasses on. But I did manage to get most of that wrapped up, which makes me very happy. Like we're going to do. Let's just do this. So we'll have to be working on this entire sheet. And crashed out early, which is good. Needed it. How's your weekend been so far, Edwin? Today I got a lot of yard work to do. I'm going to mow the lawn for the first time this year. I got to take stuff over to recycling. Yard work, some house cleaning. That's kind of it. Join the YF12. Nice. Doing the same thing. Yeah. Coffee. And do the PT 2 video today and then start something else. Going to a weld on a Willys Jeep today. Well, ooh, 1-to-1 project. Nice. My tiny Ghost Step chisels. Ghost Step chisels came yesterday. And I kind of want to play with those and figure those out. Oh, those are the the step chisels. Nice, Tony. Yeah, you got to do a review on those. Yes, I'm doing laundry. There we go. All right. I'm just going to pop this one in and I'm going to make a couple more. But let's see this one. Set different like this. This is the exterior side. Yes. So I'd have to go in like this. Sorry, guys. That's the exterior. Okay, like that. Let's drop it in and see what happens. Oops, no, we're not. Not until we clean it. Let's see. That sounds fun, Nick. Yep, it does, doesn't it? Oh, no, I didn't throw that out, did I? I guess I did. Hey, Joe. Can you make me some too? Let's see, what else did I miss? Hey, Tony. Also going to make my famous pancakes. There we go. Missed that famous. You say, Joe. Can you make me some too? Trick is brown sugar and vanilla. Yum. Yeah. Lots of body work, patch panels. Yeah, I suppose. To work on the house. Work day. But I left it at home. It means that I have to sand it at home. And the cleaning of my room because I just missing my multi-tool. Yeah. So you working at I'm assuming at a workspace, correct? I always enjoy a bit of body work. So nice. Enjoy some body work. Sounds like a personal problem. I put come on. Just trying to get the some schmutz on here. I'm not complaining. I enjoy the work. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like you really dig doing that 1-to-1 type of stuff. I'm torn between building the Gustav Karl or starting another PG kit. Choices. I'm going to do the Karl next. I really need to get some of these HG kits out of my backlog. Tony, how many HGs do you have in your backlog? fuck is that? So, is that an imperfection? See, this is why you got to make more than one. There's something going on in there. There's a line in there, almost like what they call it. I think I can rub it out. There's a almost like a there's a cloud line, almost like the plastic became stressed in that area. Again, time to make another one. Lots of HG and lots of master grades. Let's see. I'm sad because I just saw they are removing the 11 to unicorn and replacing it. There's something on the wing. There's something on the wing? What wing are we talking about? Try adding some heat before bending it. Yeah, could do that too. Yeah, it's kind of weird that one kind of came up. No big deal. Do this again. We're planning on making more than one of these anyway. First of all, make sure that this is clear. So we are going to do some. I'm not going to press down on that too much this time. Hey, RQ, what's going on, brother? 45, 50-ish, 1144 kids. Yep, nice. There's something on the wing. I'm not sure. So, Tony, I'm sad because I just saw they are removing the 11 to 1 unicorn and replacing it. What's that? Good morning. William Shatner or John Lithgow? I like them both. What's going on, Ray? Well, long time no see. Huh? How's it going? It is going well. Things are just hunky-dory. And how are things with you, RQ? Okay, hit a coffee. Let's get to it. All right. There we are. All right. Cap it. There we go. Oh, that one. You're talking about the actual 1-to-1. Oh, okay, now I get it. 1-to-1, not 1. Okay, now I understand. Yes. There's something on the wing. It must be one of them. Nice. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I saw something yesterday about it's coming down. Do they know what they're replacing it with? Morning, Legends. Morning, Peter. What's going on, brother? Maybe Peter knows. He's in Japan. Peter, what are they replacing the unicorn with? The Diver City. So I remember everybody's name here. Sorry, dude. No worries. This is from years of doing this. I'm not kidding you. Years. I am of the Joe flavor. Oh, yes, Joe. Hey, everybody. Black Country Apex Nerd. Dude, what's going on? Oh, my gosh, man. I'm doing better today than I was yesterday. Something yesterday. I must have been all the dust from working on the rack. That rack had not been touched. The actual rack and some of the components hadn't been touched. When did I install that? 2010? Yeah, 17 years, 16 years. A one-to-one she would be so cool. Are you kidding me? I don't even know who George is. I don't know who George is. Not that I'm a huge unicorn fan, but I'm hopeful they will replace with something like a Zaku or a Seed statue. Sure. I think if we all had our druthers, which one would I like? I would love to see the Mark II. That will never happen. Manigo has not yet announced a specific physical replacement for the mecha, but has teased a new Gundam landmark concept. God. Wow, that's kind of interesting. Okay, cool. Landmark Gundam concept. Okay, first thing I'm going to do, just because I don't want this stuff everywhere, is replace it with a Barbados Lupus Rex with a working tail. Yeah. I don't know. What would be, I mean, what's an upcoming Gundam? I mean, honestly, except for, Hathaway's Flash, are they working on a new series? Just tossing all these little pieces into the nub jar. A Zaku would be nice, but they'll never make a Zaku. I mean, not that I have any insight, but I would imagine building a bad guy suit probably would not be in the cards. What model are you currently working on? I'm curious. I'm working on an old 1981. And it is from 1981. See if this thing will come into focus. I've actually posted a picture of this, but that label, yeah, you're not going to see it now. That label actually says 1981. So I'm working on an old 1981 GOG, and I'm making it into a pilotable figure, including building in a cockpit with LEDs and other stuff. Old is gold. Old is gold. Let's see. I'm leaning towards a Mighty Strike Freedom or the Barbatos, since they seem to be going down the big IP lane with the statues. Yep. Your Nikashira Zaku would be awesome for sure. I would love to see a Zaku, without a doubt. Like an original kind of Zaku or something from Origin would be fabulous, but don't see it happening. I think that would be nice, but it's similar. That's a bad guy. I think they would be a gift of trouble. Giving him Karma's ship. They could make a PG new from all Tom's PG news. They could. Old is gold. Old is gold. How about a Hyakushiki all gold plated and stuff? See, that would be kind of cool, right? That's not a bad guy suit. Theoretically, not a bad guy suit. There we go. A little tighter on some of this. Okay. That's done. Sorry, guys, give me a second here. Bottom is now rounded. I'm going to go in just a little tighter here. A little tighter here. Okay. Oops. There we go. Plastic pieces off. All right. Set this aside. Set that mold aside. In fact, instead of making 4 more, I'm just going to hold on to that. Put it right in that cup with the rest of the parts. That's looking good. Let's do a little cleanup. Yeah, that'd be good. 10% of tariffs for you, Joe. To do it. To have a new at the other side, I would lean towards that being a replacement. Yeah. Love to have a new. Listen, Cheeto. I'm sure than he will ever be. I have honest friends and family. Amen. Okay, I gotta get moving. Dad calling and get his pills soon. Okay, I gotta get moving. Dad calling and get his pills soon. Awesome. Tony, before you go, all go with your dad? Yesterday was the last day. Hopefully everything is in good place for him. Hopefully he's feeling good. Goo off of there. Hey, Peter. They should invent a new giant Fu-45. The Terrifer. I don't know. I think your prime minister has a love for him, so I don't expect that they're going to be doing anything anti him. Anyway. All right. Let's do the check. So this, if memory serves, that's the outside. Like that. Let's drop it in. Tough part's going to be getting by that ceiling area. Me. Hey, Peter. It's doing pretty good so far. Just sore belly from a week's worth of chemo. Yeah. Is that where they well, I don't want to know. Well, I'm happy to hear that. That's the important thing. All right. Take care, Tony. Have a good one, man. We'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Advise everyone to get off Google text messages. Yeah. No. All right. Let's get a piece of wood, not metal. Try not to scratch this thing. Let's see if I can pop this thing in. Popping it in 3 places is not going to be fun. One side in. Gotta get underneath that ceiling. That's going to be fun. I might have to get underneath that ceiling first. If I can. Stressing the plastic or having it literally spring out everywhere. Okay. I don't want to break. Did I stress it? No, that's just a reflection. Whew. Scared the shit out of me. That flew. Coffee break. Low nose break. Let's see. It's been pretty good. Yeah. Why is that Joe pronounced the tariff ire? Yeah, exactly. It's 2 shots a day in the belly. Ooh, boy. Anyway, take it easy, brother. Oof. Before we get restricted. My plus home pills. Wow, I've never heard of Google text messages before. Neither have I. Oh, wait, never mind. It was under the influence of outside political structure to share information by sidestepping laws from other countries. Love it, in meaning that I don't love it. What if I'm going to try something here, guys. Forgot this camera does not have a rotating head. I was going to try to rotate a little bit. Let's try this. Catch more of the bench. Less of the towels. I know everybody's into the towels. All right, let's try popping it in again. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if media companies are giving away stuff for free, somebody has to pay something. You can't have that. This is the thing that always surprised me. It's like you can't have something be free and people at the top making, or everybody in a company making a lot of money. Actually, let's do it this way. I'm going to try another methodology here. It's this way. Let's see if I can just curve it a little bit without causing any stress lines, kind of like I just did. Yeah, I think that's the issue I had last time. Let me take a look at this. I can't tell if it's clear or not now. Not from this side, but if I bend it. Let's see what happens. We're going to pop it in and see what happens. Sorry, my friends. I may have to remove one of those support pieces because that's one of the things that's causing. I've got to get this thing in a certain way. The other thing I can try to do. Let's do it this way and see what happens. Cut a hair on that side. Hair on that side. Let's see what happens now. Oh, Google Text is the texting keyboard and searches in Chrome. Just another fuck corpo. Yeah. Can you guys imagine how unstoppable Nick will be when the president will be a Democrat with Nick? Peter. With all he will have to have listened to in here. I find another hobby then in covering truths. I like it's still nice. Everyone nowadays. All right, let's try this again, shall we? All right. I don't want to remove one of the supports here. I like the fact that they're there, but at the same time, it could be that I've got 3 places to kind of snap it into, and it's a curved surface. It may not happen. So when I push it with my finger rather than using a stick. Yeah, it's off center. Push it there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to remove one of these supports. Oh, damn it. That sucks because that means I have to glue it back in later. And if memory serves, this thing has been both C8 in place as well as thin cemented. It's gonna suck. Get the heat gun out. No, I don't want to get the heat gun out. I will blister it. That's the problem. I will absolutely blister the piss out of it. Um, mm, 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 If nothing else, it gives me the opportunity to repaint this piece. There it goes. Didn't take much effort, actually. What ended up being required with the crack canopy? What ended up being required? Replacement. I'm replacing the crack canopy. It fogged. I woke up I was looking at it last night. That's why I didn't come to the bench last night. I was almost there. I was exhausted, that aside. But I almost came down and it's like, and I looked at it, it's like, I'm not fucking touching this thing today. So that's why I'm replacing it with a new one. And I'm using the old one as a mold in case I continue to make mistakes on this one. Okay. That's fine. Okay, it went in. I just got to position it. Goes. Now let's take a look at it. There's a little stress at the top. That's actually looking pretty good. And if I can put that one piece, if I can glue that one piece in, I may not even need to use much canopy glue. That's pretty tight fitting in there right now. There it is. The only thing you can see is almost right at the top. There's a little bit of what they call it. A little bit of a stress area, but it's really at the top. And I think at that oblique angle, I'm looking just to make sure that there's nothing that's going on. Yeah, there's a little bit of a stress right there. We'll make another one just to see what it looks like. Anyway, we'll make one more. Set that aside. Might have to glue that piece in and try not to touch the fucking clear. Anyway, that's what we got. Clear. Another one. Time check. No. Work on this until it gets done. Okay. Got it. Let's make another. A coffee. Snip, snip. The reason why that plastic gets that line through there is because I've got a stress riser, literally right there, 2 points where these two cut lines meet at an angle, and that's what's creating a lot of that pain. But we'll get through it. Don't care. Find it later. I haven't seen if Ken is on this morning. Is Ken on this morning? Let's see. After finishing a plane model, you get to choose between 1 or 2. Put it on your desk as decoration and never touch it again. 2, throw it and pray for it to fly. What would you do? Well, me, I would throw it. I don't know why. I'm going to send it. After finishing a plane model, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I want to take a look at it afterward. I want to see if it flies. Unless it's, of course, an RC plane. That's a different thing. All right. Turn this top piece off. I lost my line. I've been touching this thing a little too much. Hopefully that's it. Polish it. Actually, I mean, a big enough model should fly, right? It's a replica of the wreath. Well, in theory, whether it's structurally designed to do so, I can't answer that. I would assume the answer is no. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, if you're building it to test the theory, I would say that'd be kind of cool. But if you're building it, then I wouldn't bother with painting it. It'd be like, all right, let's see if this thing goes. You put enough thrust into the thing. All right. We got almost all the schmutz off here. Okay. I'm going to pop this one off. Well, I'll tell you, once it goes in, it don't want to come out. I guess that's a good thing, right? Time to find out. Is that a motor? So just turn it on and throw. Do you have enough thrust on it, though, to make it fly? Yeah. All right, let's get this piece put in. Let's see how it looks. Sorry, I just want to clear out this, get rid of the schmutz. Got all sorts of stuff here. There we go. To build a balsa plane? Well, the base should work like a frisbee. All right. Let's do this. Yeah, I love it. Well, there's some natural chipping now happening on the inside here. I guess that's kind of cool. I'm not going to bend it this time because the last time I stressed it. I know I can apply heat, Nick. I get it. And I may, if this doesn't work, I may apply heat. Come on, just right there. In. All right, let's see how it looks. We'll stress at the top. Hopefully some canopy glue. We'll be able to hide some of that. Got some kind of schmutzing underneath here. All right, this one's looking better. This one's looking better. I'm about to head out to fly some stuff myself. I'll throw it extra hard for the Amp Am. Nice. Ooh. RC. Yeah. Get some RC peeps here. All right. It's stressed it right at the top, but I think at that angle, it's somewhat visible. I don't think I'm going to do any better than this. Yes, I can try to it's trying to snap it into place underneath. It's just getting real hard. You know what? I think we need to get on with this project. I need to get this thing glued into place. I'm going to glue the support in. Do a little bit of cleanup here. Glue the support in, and then we're calling this thing done. I need to get on to the next I need to get out of the rest of this model if I'm going to get this thing done by December. Sorry, I'm actually just running into some obstacles here with... What the fuck are you? Come on. There. Trying to get rid of all the old glue that was there. 1 second, guys. Bill looking better, but Builder now looks broken. Hey, Peter, I resemble that remark. Yeah, dude, absolutely. Well, I was hoping that today I'd get the whole, let's get the thing buttoned up, get all the LEDs put into place, and who knows, I might still do that. Because frankly, I'm kind of done. This is kind of where George gets to the point where this project either stops or it's good enough and you move on. Test the LED real quickly. LED is still working. We're going to glue that piece into place after I put in this little support strut. And we are not going to use CA any fucking where near this thing. Let's see. Yeah, we're painting the flight stands at the club. I'll bring stuff since anyway. Nice. RC earlier this year, but the weather too cold for my plane to fly. Still waiting for summer. Yeah, we have a frozen finger fun fly in January. We'll fly off the snow. That's actually that does sound kind of cool. Pilots in yet? No. The reason the pilots, thankfully, they weren't glued in because otherwise. That canopy has to be 100% spot on, because once the canopy is in place, then I can glue the pilots in place, and it's ready to go. Pilots are just Sitting and hanging. Just sitting and hanging. LED sold disproportionately big. Yeah, but I don't care about that because all I'm looking to do is light the area up. Just yanking your chain. I'll yank your chain, Peter. I'll yank your chain. Uh-huh. All right, let's get some of this. In fact, what I'm going to do, let's do this. Let's go to my scraps bin. We've got pilots to put in, televisions to put in. Let's get rid of the electrical tape. LEDs to put in. Little piece of plastic. I'm going to try to go to something a little thinner than the last time. Yeah, better. And that'll still catch just enough. That's all I need. All right. Put this back there. That's what I thought. I figured it wouldn't fit with that. No, canopy can't go in until after all this other stuff is in place. I'm sorry, the pilots can't go in until after everything else is in place, including the canopy. Sorry about that. All right, let's get the displays over here. In fact, let's get this piece put in first. I'm going to move this over to here, put that away. Trying to put stuff away so I can have a working space. All right, now let's cut a piece. Three. Can't go too large. Not that I need to. I'm going to make this thing 4 mil. I got 2 fairly evenly sized pieces now, so if one fails, I can always drop in the other one. Peter, a giant LED lamp for his house. Way out of scale. All right. So now this. I'm learning my lessons here a little bit here. Hopefully this won't totally fuck it up. In fact, fuck. Thought I had some nitrile gloves, but I don't know where they are now. Fuck it. There we go. I'm going to go Plastic Magic. Pray. Pray, pray, pray. Yikes. I'm sitting well. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Now it's sitting better. Give me a second, guys. Sorry. There. All right. Keeping that thing really thin. Sorry, guys. Give me a moment here. I just want this thing to tack a little bit. We'll attach the red transparent cover on the lamp with CA glue, of course. Trying LED light. Are you trying to build a lighthouse? Yeah, dude, of course. Okay. That's in place. Whew. Let's see. With my new lamp, it might as well be, I think, comes with a welding helmet for safe viewing. All right, it is in. New canopy, looking clear. There are spots where it is not. I will do some light cleaning on it, but that piece is now in place. And we are now going to go on the inside, not the outside, and hit it with canopy glue. Beautiful. Nah, I wouldn't go that far, Joe, but thank you. It's done. And I'll start with that. We'll start with that. Yeah, this stuff is literally just like industrial Elmer's glue, which, by the way, I just got some more of as well. Because this is the kind of stuff I think you can make like waves and stuff like that on water. Okay. Whew. Let's do it. I don't think I have to worry about any of the underside. That thing is tight to the so if I can get in here like this. All right, I got a little bit of schmutz on the inside there, but I can clean that up later. All right, now let's just gently push. There we go. All right, so I will say this so far. Every now and then, this is one of the nice things about having a maybe catastrophic failure is a little too strong, but having a significant failure is a good thing, because in this application, it looks like this replacement is significantly improved even before the previous one cracked. It just looks better. Knock on wood. This one looks better. What you do is, I guess this is like a, I guess, old school engineering way of doing things. You build something, it works until it fails, find out where the failure is, fix the failure, try it again. You're a little further along. So. But I am super happy with the way this came out so far. Old is always gold. Remember that. Yeah. 100% RQ. Also, this time, not having any, I think the last time, I either stressed the plastic or I had something on my finger that also imprinted itself on the inside of the canopy. And that didn't help matters either. So basically what I'm doing right now is just pressing it in place using a piece of paper towel. No matter how difficult, yeah. And part of it is also, it's when you make mistakes, it's like, sorry guys, got a bit of a frog in the throat. Allergies are really killing me. You look at, you say, okay, is this good enough? And it's like, you know what? I'm not happy with this. And I remember on the Spartan in particular, there were a couple of occasions where it's like, you know what? And for weeks, I've been saying, oh, that's good enough. That's good enough. And I kept on looking at it saying, it ain't right. Sometimes you just the wanting to be done with something because you want to move on to something else, you know, makes you make poor decisions. Sounds like life, right? You do something expeditiously and you have a poor outcome. Go figure. Wow. That CA burned the surface too. Whew, man. It's okay. I've been thinking about quite a bit about the surfacing on this thing. I think I'm going to be doing some fun stuff, shall we say. There's going to be scribing and probably some surface detail too, like raised panels. which I've always enjoyed. I like doing raised panels. I'm thinking back again to the Spartan and some of the raised paneling that I did, particularly in the hip area. That was good. All right. So this stuff takes hours to dry, like 24 hours before it's done. But I think at this point, it is not perfect. Sorry. It is not perfect. I cannot get this thing placed correctly to save my fucking life. Sorry, guys. But it is looking much better than the previous one. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Much clearer than the previous one. So now, let's make sure it didn't damage the wiring. Test the LED again. Nice. Yeah. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. And guys, you know, like we were talking about at the very beginning, LED is still working. Like we were talking about at the very beginning, I like the idea of having people kind of chime in and throw some ideas out. So fun. We did it twice. So much fun. In fact, I didn't expect it's going to take only 2 hours to get to this point. So I'm very happy that it only took 2 hours. We're going to set this stuff aside. Let's get rid of that piece. And we are going to save these, including that as a template, in case for some crazy fucking reason, and it better not. We're not close to being done on this thing. But in case something bad happens, let's start gluing everything else in place. And we are going to, I want to do a test. Who wants to see all the LEDs on this thing? I do. I'm dying to do this. Tomorrow, just so you guys do know, tomorrow the breadboard and other circuit stuff is showing up. So I may tomorrow, Monday, start working on the LEDs, having everything wired back to a certain location. Going to do some testing on that, but I'm pretty happy about that. I may do that online. I may just show you what the final outcome is. Well, of course we do. Yeah. It's the LED stuff is going to be kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. So the wires, of course, now did pull through. Sorry, guys. The wires did pull through. So I got to run them through the backside again. But first things first, this is now glued in place. Let's get the TV monitors back up, and we're going to go back to some. Can't tell if it's out of here. It's not going to be seen by anybody, but I will know it's there, so it is being removed. There we go. Let's get the monitors and pilots glued into place. Test the overhead light one time, and then we'll be done. I'll start popping in all of the... I'll start popping in. Oh, I'm going to take a photo of this too. All the LEDs, and we'll do a... There we go. Just want to get a little bit of reflection like that. And the interior prior to pilots. Let's get the monitors in place. So, come on. Yeah, use those. So much fun the first time. Let's do it again. What's this, like the third time these monitors are getting glued in? go. Oh, so far so good. It's true. Look, it's not even George sees it. All done by well. I feel quite impressively, actually. All done by feel what? Sorry, did I miss something? True to the cataracts. Cataracts, not even George sees it. Cataracts. God, I hope that's not the case. I really don't want cataracts. Okay, next monitor. There we go. All right. Monitors are in place. Can barely see, but they are there. I love it. The only thing I need to do before health. Okay, keeping it simple and something funny, and George is old. Gotta go for now. Take care, guys. Stay safe. RQ, YouTube brother, thanks for popping in. Always lovely to see you. The last thing we're gonna do is I need a tiny bit of this. There we go. We're just going to window clean. I'm going to clean the inside. Later equipment. Later equipment. Let's get some of that stuff off. Okay, now let's go in. Clean the interior here. Ooh, shiny. Whew. Oh, the F did autocorrect. Go from RQ to equipment. I don't know. It's your autocorrect. Knucklehead. All A little bit more cleaning. A bit of drying. There we go. Let's get the surface. Oh, by the way, there is going to be some additional work that's going to get done to this lensing. I'm going to put in wipers probably when we get closer to getting the outside done. And then if anybody's ever watched Plasmo in particular, but a couple people do it too, you can put in you then create a mask for where the wiper blades are, and then hit it with a very fine mist of like a dust layer. And what that does is it kind of shows, it clouds some of it over, but it shows only where the wiper blades are. That's going to require a little experimenting. All right, this is clean. It is not perfect. And that's okay, because I'm going to schmutz some of it up. And I may end up on the outside doing some future. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, there's definitely some stressing on the inside, depending on the angle that you're looking at this. And I don't care. It is clear enough. I can see that interior very, very well. I can even see the monitors, given how the light's hitting here. Well enough. Hey, Fizz, what's going on, brother? Could probably use CA to make it cloudy. I could. I'm so good at that. I could also just make it just like shatter into a million pieces. Coming in real A. Hi, y'all. No worries, Fizz. What's going on, brother? Clear plastic visor repaired. Replaced. Nice and clear now. Much better than it was before. Better held into place. Monitors are in place. Let's get Soldier Boys in. Going to blur the window so we can see even less on the inside. Yes. Real fine layer. I may not, but I kind of figured that would be kind of a cool effect. And you have to, and I'm going to be testing it out. I've never done it before, but I've airbrushed on clear before, but not like this. So just want to make sure it isn't going to go badly. Okay. All right, let's do this. We're going to use, yes, my favorite, thin cement, CA. And we're not going to be stupid about it this time. Up the nozzle and spew. Yeah, exactly. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from that fizz. All right. Pilot number 1. Yeah. So it looks from this side. Oh, yeah. Let's get pilot number 2 in. Hey guys, sorry I'm late. No worries, Ken. What's going on, brother? Ken, how was the event last night? Was it last night that you had the prom event? This episode is brought to you by CA Glue. If you need skin repair, there's no stronger CA Glue, not just for plastic. Definitely not just for plastic. And sometimes not even for plastic. Looking at some 30-minute fantasy kids, kind of find it odd that I haven't seen anyone do a mix of 2 kits to make Tyrell from Diablo. Well, who is Tyrell from Diablo? Pardon my ignoramusness. There we go. Pilots are in. In fact, you know what? I'll take this guy out, do him again. Sorry. There's a reason for it. I want him over a little bit more. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Yeah, closer to the center console. Come on. Mode. You know what? Just realized something. You guys are not going to see this. Get ready for some gross shit. Later, Edwin. Have a good evening, my friend. It was nice to see all the kids dressed up. They had a blast. Yep. And how about you? Were you okay with all the parents? We're going to cut off his feet. You didn't see that. That was a top-down view video game. As you hunt down Diablo, Tyrell is an armored angel introduced in the second game. Got it. Okay. Third time's a charm. Glasses down. There we go. Good, good. And there we are. Of course. How the hell that happened? Who the hell knows? I'll show you guys in just a second. Let me just get my tools cleaned up here. I just got CA on my fingers and on the tweezers. Not that it matters. How the hell did I get all that CA everywhere? Let's cap everything. That's diabolical. Footless men. I know. Diabolical. Yeah, I got to meet Long Meadows police captain. Told him I would name drop if ever pulled over. Nice. Did he laugh at that? Hey, can I keep you in my Rolodex just in case? Not that things happen often, but when they do. This poor GOG pilot's been defeated. Oh, he's totally been defeated. Yeah. The clothes are going to have a bunch of CA on them now. Yeah, I'll leave that one right there. Let's cap the CA. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Ooh, very close. Yeah, fuck it. Good enough. You get the you get what I'm doing here. Let's take a photo. Fire up the one LED. I don't think I can get all of them fired up just because I don't have the ability to do that, but we'll see what happens. It looks amazing, Joe. It looks pretty damn good. Not going to complain, but it ain't reference level work, and I'm okay with that too. Put this stuff away. Put that away. Wonder what will work for George first, the autofocus or CA glue on clear parts? Oh, CA glue on clear parts will work first. Like I said, later this year, my hope is to get another batch of another PC. Maybe I can tweak out the camera at that point. I mean, from this perspective, it's fine. I am going to try finding at some point a piece of black material. But for now, all right. I think think that hole's big enough for the wiring. Get started to keep his stick on ice. Fuck Corpo. Absolutely. Love you. Joe, you too, brother. Have a great Saturday. We'll talk to you soon. All right, another 5 minutes and then we're calling it done. First thing we're going to do is we are going to get this thing lit up. I'm sorry that's not focusing, but at the very least, we get the chance to see kind of what it looks like. It actually looks pretty good. Dad, I think they were kids. Wow, that's only one light. And that looks really good. And this isn't even with the back on. And the two backlights either. Wow. But what's nice about that, it's more than even the figures, it's lighting up that dash really nicely. I mean, that's awesome. That's looking good. Yeah, not gonna lie, it's looking good. Hey, Tim, what's going on, brother? Good morning. Dad? So I don't have the professional setup that Tim does, so my cameras are going to suck ass, and I'm okay with that. I don't have super zoom. But what we do have is we do have the figures in place. And the prep work for the rest of the LEDs, which I will drop in. So thank you there, George. I dig the LEDs. Yeah, the LED came out great. I'm really happy with the way this is coming out so far. And what I'm looking for, the question came up as to whether or not that is scale accurate to have that light overhead. And does it look real? No, it doesn't. But what it does is it's lighting basically the dash work, and I'm happy with that. Casting a little bit of light on the figures themselves, on the back walls, on the side walls. And what that does is it's going to fight that darkness that's in there to kind of pop that out. So even though the figure will probably be kind of like at that angle when it's all said and done, it will still give it just the ability for somebody to kind of say, my God, I can see clearly in there. Yeah, it's LED lit. And at the same time, the other 4 LEDs will create, 2 of them will create an uplight to kind of highlight. Yes, the storage shed, as people like to call it. It'll highlight all of that stuff in there. But it will also drive those 2 clear pieces right there, right on the front. And that should cause this thing to just, again, just a little bit of standout. That's all I'm looking for. Just a little bit of standout. So, God almighty, this is December, huh? I think it's looking unlikely, but we'll see. Damn, that's nice. Nah, thanks, Tim. It's this is a fun project, and I've been, again, this came up, and I've got about another couple more minutes, and I'm gonna bail here. A couple days ago when Tim was on, I kind of mentioned I loved seeing, as he was scratch building a gun. There was a weapon that he's working on for his Kyakushiki, and the weapon was based on a design of a piece that he got, which is constructed like shit. And then you see things happening in Tim's mind. You see, like, oh, I'm gonna try this. Oh, it's not working. And the process of going through that. When I saw that, it was like, to me, it was absolutely fab. Promises. Yeah, exactly. I was absolutely fascinated by watching that, because to me, it's kind of shows you're watching the process, and I like, more so than even the execution, the process of how you get to doing this thing. Like, all right, so like before I go to sleep, I'm kind of forcing myself, one, not think about work, which is always a big thing. And the second thing is try to end on all right, so what are you going to be working on that's going to make this model a little cooler? And I'm forcing myself to do that. So things like, for example, like the paneling that I'm going to be doing on the outside, thinking about that. I've got a line drawing for this thing. I'm going to print out a couple of pieces of it and start doing some hand drawing. There's some ideas that I've got. All those are going to evolve. Whatever gets created here, by the time it actually gets put on plastic, will probably be a little different, but it gives me the foundation for where I want to go. There's the first thing. But we've got a bunch of things that we want to do. There's going to be surface detail on the outside of this thing because it is a little plain. I've already been thinking about a lot about the backpack, and the backpack is going to be it's either going to work really, really well, or it's going to look stupid. And either way, it's going to be fun to do. You can have an idea in your head, but the only way to know if it'll work is actually do it. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the best ideas just don't work. Absolutely. Yeah, Tim, I'm kind of finding that too. Like with a lot of this stuff, and we were just talking about it because this is like the third time I'm putting in the canopy on this thing, because I got CA on it the first time, the second time, last time. No, both times got CA on it, and it just cracked the fuck out of it. But in any case, it's coming up with those ideas and then seeing how you execute to them. And this is what I call the John Cassavetes approach. It's you've got the foundation, you've got an idea of where you want to go with this thing, but what you're actually doing when you're on set, some of that is a little different. It might be like the actors might want to convey things a little bit differently, or your lighting might be a little different because your DP did something different. The way I believe Cassavetes always approached filmmaking was, here's the concept, pretty fleshed out, 90% there, and then the last 10% is unknown. And that unknown can grow from 10% to something greater if the final execution is better than you originally thought. I'm not sure if that makes sense at all, but from my perspective, that's kind of how I work. You start with something, you got an idea. That's an excellent idea. To Tim's point, sometimes it doesn't work. Other times it works really well. And then other times it's like, holy shit, but if I tweak it out this, that, and the other way, and whether that's by your own idea or somebody in the live stream chat or chimes in and says, hey, why don't you try doing this? And then suddenly it turns into a completely different game. And that's the process. It's the process of working on this thing that to me is always the coolest thing. Anyway, so with that being said, that's called Every Time. Probably, Peter. With that being said, one last sip of coffee, and it is time for me to get bailing here. Family's awake and got a lot of shit to do outside. Guys, stay safe and stay sane. Thanks for being on this morning. I do appreciate it. Anybody who popped in early, late, doesn't matter. But thank you, everybody, for being here. So tomorrow, we'll start getting ready to button it up. I got to work on the anchor placement. Got to work on a few other things. Love the mug. Which one? This one back there? Or this one? Oh, yeah. Of course. Dude, believe. Anyway, but guys, go out there and do good. World is getting crazier. It is getting more insane. And it is unbelievable how we are starting to lose our humanity by othering people. Stop doing that. Let's do what we do here. Take this out into the real world and show kindness, love, respect. Do good by others. All right, guys, I'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same channel. Enjoy the day, guys. Love you all. Catch you on the flip. Peace.